What's up, Lions Nation? It is We Are Lions Nation podcast. It is our recap show from the Lions taking on the Bears. We got the Soul Man and Smoking Jeremy B in the house today. Logan, unfortunately, got stuck at work today, so he will not be here tonight. But, dude, we're thinking about you, and we got all his information that he sent us, so we're still going to be good. And we got a lot to talk about tonight, Jeremy B. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do, Soul Man.
But, Jeremy, that countdown, it begins
now.
All right. We are back and we are live on YouTube and Facebook tonight. Just decided to do a little treat and pop up on Facebook. Hey, remember everybody, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, and please be sure to like and share the show as well to all your Lions friends out there. And let's go ahead and get the show started. We already got one comment coming in. And we got Dan Leonard. Look at Logan dropping the ball. Dan, Logan would never miss this show in a million years. So I know you're just joking, though. But, yeah, he feels really bad about not being here tonight.
Hey, Dan, just look at it this way. He pulled a rag now with an early snap.
There you go. Jeremy B.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy B. So the Lions go into Chicago and we lose. Didn't look very good.
This was quite possibly our most horrendous game of the season.
Just initial thoughts. I've been saying this for a while, and a lot of people have been saying it too. 4-quarter football.
Yes. I knew where you were going immediately.
4-quarter football. Absolutely. If anybody's seen the thumbnail for this show, I broke it down. I know it was pretty complicated, but first quarter, 0. Second quarter, 0. Third quarter, 7. Fourth quarter, 7. That was how the Lions performed in that game.
And what's sad is it could have been first quarter 6, second quarter 6.
Yep.
That wins the game.
Yeah, I mean, are we ever going to get fourth quarter football from the Lions, 4-quarter football? And also you have to think, Dan Campbell, is his calling a little too aggressive right now? I mean, those are questions that we're going to talk about tonight that we want to get to.
I want to touch on it a little bit right now, if you don't mind.
Do it up.
I like the fact he's trying to be aggressive, but right now we do not have the roster to pull that off as a whole. We have a great O-line. We have an above-average quarterback. We have great running backs. We have okay receivers to sometimes abysmal. And we've seen that streaky play all season, and I'm not wrong in how I'm saying it. If we would have made our cardiac kitten himself, Ramon Santioso, go ahead and try to kick that first field goal from 35 yards and he missed, I'd have been okay with going for it 3 times in a row after that. But what if he made it?
Yeah. Well, I want to jump into this comment here from 510 in the paint. Do you think us going for it on 4th and 1 will eventually slow down the defense?
It hasn't yet. As a matter of fact, it looked like Chicago knew our snap counts. They were reacting to the ball in less than 4/100ths of a second, which means what they did was they studied the cadence and how Jared Goff calls his hikes. Something's got to be changing there too.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I liked the 4th and 1. I liked the aggressiveness from Dan Campbell. I don't think Dan Campbell should change, but maybe change up what you're doing on 4th down. For example, throwing the ball. Why? Why are we running? Why are we not pounding it up the gut on 4th and 1? Why are we trying to pass it? And then you got Jared Goff throwing to St. Brown when Quintez Cephas is standing wide open in the middle of the field. Again, for the second week in a row, this has happened.
Every play there was someone open, but they chose to pick out that one especially. I hated the fact that we didn't do the halfback draw play. Drop back like you're going to get a pass, have Williams check somebody, then grab the ball and run up the middle because there was a hole there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of things. You had some miscues in that game, a couple fumbled, snaps, and and the defense, Jeremy B. The defense, we played stellar defense against the Baltimore Ravens, and then we come out with the same people and don't play anything close to that defense against Chicago. So you tell me, Jeremy, how do you explain going from 1 week to the other week with the same people but not playing the same football? How is that happening?
Actually, the snap count for Barnes was down. When he was on the field, plays were made. The defense looked electric. When he wasn't on the field, it looked lethargic and slow. There is a big difference there, and I noticed that right away, too. I also noticed that they said they were going to run Swift more, and in the first half, he had, 3 carries for 9 yards, I think it was?
Yeah, something like that.
That's not using him more. I mean, yeah, they used him more in the passing game, once again, but utilize him. The sweeps were not working for Swift. So when the sweep doesn't work, you got to use what's known as a misdirection play where they cut one way and then go the other, or you got to do the halfback counter to the other direction to throw the defense off. Mm-hmm. Anthony Lynn's play calling is really starting to bug me. It's starting to look for the reason why he was fired in Buffalo and also why he was fired for the head coach of the San Diego Chargers, and it's starting to bug me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I were both in the same boat when we watched that game. Just pure frustration on what in the world is going on. We couldn't stop the run at all. We couldn't stop the pass really either.
Well, you know what? He had an above-average performance, and at times he looked exactly like I saw every other OSU quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. Yes, he's athletic. Yes, he's got an arm. Yes, he can make throws that some players can't. But did he beat us? He did not beat us. We beat ourselves. And that's what made this loss feel so dirty to me.
I feel like Justin Fields had way more time than they did last week against their opponent. I feel like that Justin Fields was able to hit Mooney whenever he pleased, and that he tore it up with him. And then Montgomery, boom, every damn time, right down the middle of the field. There was like no stopping him, and it was ridiculous. 510 in the paint says, who's supposed to be identifying these blitzers? Jerry B?
Pre-snap, it's Goff. During the actual gameplay, it's Ragnow that helps call the blitz coverage. When he went out, the blitz calling kind of went away.
And what we got to talk real quick. We got to mention Panay Sewell.
He had a bad game. He looked like a rookie left tackle that got overmatched because they were sending 2 and 3 people to that side. Jonah Jackson was walling off the inside, and Ragnow helped him in the beginning, and it looked like it was going to be okay. Then all of a sudden, when 2 people were getting to Sewell at the same time, he didn't know which one to take first. That's what I saw, and that's why I said all along. I sat there. I said, "Hey, he's a rookie. He's going to have a game where he makes mistakes." Unfortunately, it was this whole game.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen. And I brought that up because there was a lot of hate that I seen on social media going towards Sewell. I mean, you got to give him some break. And then people are already talking about get Dan Campbell out of there already. It's like ridiculous
With
the
this,
stuff that people say.
with this roster, for them to expect him to pull miracles and make this a playoff contending team, and I've said this from the beginning, you're delusional and you're going to be heartbroken.
Nope, 11 wins still.
Okay.
I'm not going to
There's been 5 teams so far that's gone 0-4, and the last team to make the playoffs was in 1961.
No, till now. Till this year.
I don't see it, my brother. I want to hit that hopium pipe. I want to take a big chug out of the Kool-Aid jug. But realistically, our roster is not that good.
Man, I don't know what it is, man, but I'm telling you, Smoking Jeremy B, I see the talent there, man. I see it.
There is some talent here. You want to know why I say there's some talent here? 1 out of 15,000 kids coming out of college gets a break in the NFL and gets drafted or UDFA signed. 1 in 15,000. So the fact that they're still on an NFL roster, they're not that bad. But lately, if you want my honest opinion of what I've seen an arena football team get their ass handed to them by NFL teams.
All right. I mean, I get that for sure. What you're saying. I just feel like we've seen so many glimpses of what could be, but what we haven't seen is that fourth quarter football
in one game. No. We haven't seen it in one game. We've seen the second half of the 49er game, the first half of the Green Bay game. The first half was abysmal. I almost feel like if we get a top 5 pick, we should almost trade back to get more picks and possibly an extra pick for the following year, because that will really accelerate the rebuild myself, because we need so much all the way around.
Don't forget the picks that we got with the Stafford trade too are going to be huge in the draft coming up as well. Lots of
names that I like. Names that I like in the first round in the top 5 that should be there. Of course, there's Kevin Thibodeau from Oregon, the defensive end. There's the big D end who's actually number 2 or 3 in the league right in NCAA right now, Aiden Hutchinson. I also like Devin Lloyd out of Utah and Nick Bonito. I can't remember his college for the life of me, but he plays that D end outside linebacker 3-4 type defense. He'd be somebody to look at too, because I still think in the first 2 rounds you got to take defense with those first 3 picks. Our defense is what's really lacking right now. Our offense actually looks slightly ahead of the defense at this point.
I would agree with that statement about the offense and the defense for sure. Let's go ahead, Jeremy B, and bring up the injury report. So, Soulman's injury report for the past game against the Bears. We had that is not. Never mind. That's not the right.
That was the pregame report. That was the pregame report. Yeah. On to the next.
I put up the wrong slide. So we had Frank Ragnow. He's going to be out. What 3 weeks at least?
1 to 3 weeks. He's definitely out this week coming up, and the next. It's on a week-to-week basis because it is turf toe. At first, they reported it as a broken toe during the game, and it wasn't. It's turf toe. That's a huge relief, but yet a concern because we play on that grassy turf, which causes turf toe.
Yeah, and I think that's what took out Javid Best, if you remember him. I know he also
Javid
went out.
Javid Best was more concussions than anything, but he did have a couple of games that he missed due to turf toe as well. But the
Now,
big one wasn't it Kevin Smith that had that turf toe, then the Liz Frank
yeah,
fracture that took him out forever.
yep. And well, speaking of taken out for the season, the other big injury coming out of that game is Romeo Cora ruptured Achilles, and he is going to be out for the rest of the year. So huge hit there in my eyes. I hate to see it when you got someone like him getting
Well,
injured
now that
like that.
getting injured like that stinks, but historically he's been injured every year he's been a Lion. And I kind of called it. He would get injured. I didn't think it would be a season ender like this. And an Achilles for a DN / outside linebacker that has to cut and make turns. It's kind of brutal to come back from.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully this is something that he'll be able to come back out of next year, for sure. And wish him all the best. It's still a big hit, but we do. Julian did really well. So
Five
um,
510 in the paint asks, will the Lions have the highest draft capital? Actually, that's going to belong to the Eagles this year because of the big trades they made with Wentz, and then the trade of the pick to move back with Miami, move up that they got with Miami to move back when they move back up to take their pick, because they are going to end up with 3 picks probably in the top 10.
all right, thank
If
you.
the
Hey, 510 in the paint. Thanks for watching and following along with everybody else that has jumped in. We appreciate everybody jumping in and making their comments. So thank you to everybody for that. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring up the Statman stats of the game. Wish you were here, buddy. We miss you. So key stats for Statman was 4 red zone trips and no points. For the offense and for the defense, allowed 188 rushing yards against Montgomery. So we did pretty much. Let's talk about that, Smoking Jerry B. The first one, the red zone attempts. Let's talk about that a little bit.
I kind of agree because of Santioso. The first one that we went for was a little further out, and it was past his longest field goal, which he hit against the Ravens of 31 yards, because prior to that, his longest was 29. He was a punter turned kicker. He's 6'5" and weighs 258 pounds. And to me, he actually looks like a linebacker that can kick the ball. But anyways, or a tight end that can kick the ball, one of the two. But I think he actually was a linebacker at one point in college. Make that guy sweat, make him earn another chocolate chip cookie, make him kick a field goal. If we kick field goals those 4 red zone trips, we win the game 26-24 instead of losing 24-14.
Yes, that is true. But what I want to mention is the fact that I don't dislike going the 4th and 1 going for it on 4th and 1. I don't. I think that there's times where maybe you should think about kicking that field goal. Especially when you need a field goal and a touchdown to tie the game. Maybe in that case, kick the field goal there and just get the 3 points and try to get that ball back again. Maybe not go for that. Because in that scenario, you go for it on 4th down. You don't get it, it's turnover, and you got nothing. You might as well, if you can't get it done 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, then kick the damn field goal and try again the next time.
Yes, sir.
That's the only thing that I dislike about the 4th, going for it on 4th down when you need points, go get them. Don't waste an opportunity to get points.
Don't leave points on the field.
Yeah. Now, if they would have gotten that 4th and 1, we would be saying something completely different.
Right. And up until, 2 weeks ago, or no, last week, we were actually doing pretty good on 4th down conversions. Mm-hmm. We did a lot of them against San Francisco. We did a few against Green Bay. Even in that second half, we had a couple that actually worked.
Yeah.
It didn't make it all the way down because then there was, well, rain. Let's baby hands golf and rain does not mix.
The kryptonite came in, and but hey, we can't discredit Jared Goff's play, Smoking Jerry B. You had mentioned this
No,
earlier during the when we do our little show meeting. Um, Jared Goff actually played pretty well. But the mistakes, you got to remember the mistakes. Did it? I did it. Remember what I said I was gonna do?
yeah.
I just did that shit. Just so everybody knows, I got a new setup going on in here right now, and I got the thing right in front of me here, and I keep hitting it with my damn hand because I like to
He's
talk
still
with my hands
adjusting
a
to it.
lot. So, yeah. Anyway, Jared Goff played well. The fumbles and stuff like that, those were snaps. Those were messed up snaps. Those weren't Jared Goff. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
Necessarily.
the one was a missed up snap. The two went off of Jared Goff's hands.
Okay, so we have
So
1-1.
we have one. There was a total of 3 fumbles, two lost. I think it was. There might have been 3 lost. I don't know anymore because I got tired of watching it. I had to listen to the radio because I like the announcers there better than on Fox. Just saying.
Smoking Jerry B. Let's say you jump on this show for the first time and you're viewing it, and you like what you see. You're like, how would
Hey,
I
if I
want
wanted to
to?
watch these guys, I'm going to be on that YouTube channel. I'm going to hit the subscribe. That way I get a notification every time they're on. I'm going to hit a like for the show because that shows that you actually liked what was said. If you don't like what's said, hit the dislike. It's a reaction. It's necessary. And if I really do like the show overall, I'm going to share it so other people can hear it. And even if I don't like it, I'm going to share it and say, hey, watch these bozos. Just saying.
So just make sure if you're watching, please subscribe, like, and share, and click that notification bell so you know when all the newest episodes are available on YouTube.
But I can officially say there needs to be a sticker put on one linebacker's helmet. We have a kneecap biter on the team finally. Jalen Reeves-Maben made a perfect tackle. It was a textbook tackle at the waist, grabbing the legs and twisting like you're supposed to, taking him to the ground to finally stop David Montgomery at 106 yards. That, my friends, is a kneecap biter because he went out with a hurt knee on that play.
It is true. I mean, yeah, he's definitely a kneecap biter for sure. I hate to see anybody go down when it's a bad injury myself, but here's my thing when it comes to this. Okay, you got a guy like David Montgomery. He's running the ball down our throats. Then he gets hurt, and it's a complete game changer for the Lions.
Yeah,
I don't think that we need. I hate when they rely on things like that. They should have been able to stop him in the beginning of the game, so it wouldn't have mattered if he got hurt or not.
We should have did to him what the Ravens did to us in the first half of the game. We should have did last week. We should have did a zero blitz, stacking the box and forcing Fields to throw, which is what we said we should have did the whole time. Because if you're blitzing like that and they have nowhere to run, because you got guys coming from every direction, the quarterback can't get out of the pocket. So he has to rush his throws, which helps your secondary be in better position for balls thrown in the wrong area. Just saying, that's what I saw. And that's what I didn't see out of the Aaron Glenn defense. Now, granted, they were rushing. Logan Aronson says, Dan Leonard, fuck off. What's up, Statman? Love you.
Logan, buddy. We miss you, buddy. We miss you, buddy. Hope you're working hard, making all that dough right now. I know you're hating it.
Please, Logan, do not get yourself banned. Delete your comment, please.
Dan Leonard bite me. He says no.
That's a little better.
and I am because we're live right now. So I am trying to just make some adjustments here, see if I can reduce the glare on my face.
Well, it's going away soon because it's getting dark.
Logan says,
You're
"Sorry, I
okay,
missed the
buddy.
show."
We understand. The paycheck comes before the fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had
Absolutely.
to do it Sunday, and I know you're here with us at heart, brother.
Hey Logan, you are in here watching, my man. So just throw in if you got a second, throw in a comment. Kind of give us your little breakdown on the game of what your thoughts were, if you get a second, and we will bring that up. We'd love to hear from you.
But we stopped David Montgomery at that point with 106 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
Hey,
That
real quick, Jeremy B. We got Uncle Bud back in the house tonight.
Uncle Bud
says, "Go Lions, Soul Man." What's up, Uncle Bud? Thanks for hopping in and watching. We appreciate you hopping in. I know that he was one person that was very disappointed in that game, and the Lions in general this year, for sure. So, thank you, Uncle Bud, for coming in. Hey, Smoker Jeremy B, let's go ahead and hop on to your hot or cold players of the week. For the hot players, you got Khalil Raymond, Jordan Jackson, and JRM.
Jalen.
Yep. And then cold players, Anthony Lynn, not a player, but we know, and Jared Goff in the defense, which is funny because those are actually your cold players from last week. You didn't change those.
Because it didn't change. Nothing changed. They were still cold. Yeah, the only reason why I say Goff was cold is because of the turnovers. Like I said, the 2 were his fault. The 1 was Ragnall's. I'm over that. As far as a quarterback, he did not play bad. Other than missing a wide open Cephas standing there with a chance to get to the end zone on a 4th and 1 pass play. But that's beside the point. He tends to lock on to receivers. When Cephas started catching during against the Ravens in the first half, he locked onto him, was throwing to him, and he had a great game. Then once Raymond got rid of the drop season, was getting open deeper, he started hitting him. And Khalif Raymond had 2 touchdown catches and a very good game. Jonah Jackson was our highest rated offensive player off the period. He did a great job of walling off that center with the defensive tackles and keeping some of it at bay so Sewell could get some of the blocks he needed. Sewell did not have his best game. I didn't want to throw him in the cold players because he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. End of story.
You said, he had 2 people coming at him at one time. That's a huge adjustment.
Who do you take? Who do you take? Who do you take? I'm a firm believer you try to knock that guy on the inside on his ass and then turn around, and if you have to, I don't care. I'd rather take a holding penalty than let Goff get hit because of his baby hands. That's just me.
So, what your other JRM,
Jalen Reeves-Maben. He was my hot player. He made some plays. He looked good. He was all over the field. He was mostly in position. Yes, he missed a couple tackles, but for the most part, I liked the intensity he played with when he was on the field.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the same thing. I actually said the same thing when I was watching that game to myself. I was like, damn, Maven's playing great football. He seemed to be all over the field, making plays. And he does the same thing when you see special teams, who's making the tackle? Most of the
Jalen Reeves-Maben. Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. He's always, it's not very often you have a linebacker that's able to play in one of the gunner positions on a punt return, but he is one of them because he is fast enough.
Yeah. Well, hey, real quick, we got a second. Let's go ahead, Smoking Jerry B, and give a shout out to our wonderful sponsor.
A1 Tire and Auto Repair. New and used tire sales, auto repair. We service all your auto needs. We even do window tinting. We have 2 locations to serve you in the Tri-City area. One on Genesee Street in Saginaw, Michigan. The other one on Broadway, right near downtown. We're less than a mile away from mile and a half from City Hall. So come on in, check us out. We got some great prices and great deals going on. Mention you saw the ad here. We'll knock $10 off your price.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, A1 Tire and Auto Repair, for hopping aboard the We Are Lions Nation podcast this year. We greatly appreciate you hopping aboard. Yeah, you can really see the lighting is changing. See that? Because it's getting darker
Yeah,
outside.
it's getting
Yeah.
evened out. Yeah,
Yep.
it's kind
So
of like me. I'm all
problem
glowing
solved.
now. Ooh.
Problem solved. Hey, again, real
Did you
quick,
catch?
thanks everybody that jumped in and is watching with us tonight. Thank you so much on YouTube and Facebook. We really appreciate the viewership. So, just to break it down, before we get to our who you got results for this last week, to break it down, Jeremy B, what do they do? What do they
I,
do going
well,
forward?
well, seeing as how we're lacking in cap room to make any real moves right now, there's nothing we can do. The one move we should have did and we did not do, and I said it would happen, was Josh Gordon. He signed to Kansas City for $800,000. The lowest vet minimum of somebody his age and that caliber I've ever seen. And now he's going to be active this week, so we're going to see if he's worth it. And I have a feeling he will be, especially with the quarterback like Mahomes. But the book is out on Mahomes, and defenses are keying off on what he likes to do. And I've noticed he's not really playing as great as he has because defenses are sitting more people back in their zone coverages to bat down the balls and to get in the way of those passing lanes that he likes to do.
Okay, let me rephrase it. What can the Lions do with what they have? They have to be able to do. You know as well as I know, they're right there, Jeremy B. They're right there.
They have to somehow make it so the first half of this game and the second half of this game ends up in one game. It has to happen in one game. It can't happen in two games. It has to happen. Oh, holy shit! It's a stat man himself. What up, my dude?
Oh shoot! I'm having malfunctions here. There's a quick.
Hey, that's okay.
Let's go.
I'm so happy to see you. So we did your stats. We did your stats. We said it for you. But when we're ready to close out, you know what you're going to do, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're here, Stat Man. I know you've been watching a little bit, so you kind of heard what we've been talking about. Just give us your thoughts on that game. I mean, you looked at the stats. Break it down for us. What do you got?
Well, you could have won. I mean, red zone attempts. You can't go 0 for 4 in the red zone and expect to win a game. You can't turn the ball over and expect to win a game. You can't not take opportunities and score points and expect to win the game. I mean, they did the same thing as they did in the previous 3 games. Same BS. And honestly, I'm quite freaking over it. Let's go. Come on, Campbell. Let's get your shit together, coach a good game, and have Anthony Lynn get his head out of his you-know-where.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's...
And in the Army, we have a saying we'd say when somebody's screwing up. It's bend over, grab your ears, pull real hard, and make a loud popping noise. That's the sound of your head popping out of your ass.
Yeah, we beat ourselves in every game.
Yep, Uncle Bud pops in. The Lions need to stop shooting themselves in the foot, and that's what Logan.
Absolutely, Uncle Bud.
Our worst
enemy. Absolutely.
Yeah, we keep making stupid mistakes. The dumbest mistakes you could possibly think of, the Lions are making them. And on top of that, you know, Logan, you weren't here when I asked this question to Smokey Jeremy B, but but I want to get your thoughts on it. Is Dan Campbell being too aggressive on 4th down?
Yes and no. Statistically speaking, they say going for it on 4th down is actually really good chances in getting it. You have better chances of winning, statistically speaking. I'm just saying statistics. Like if you look at logistics, statistics, everything, it tells you that going for it on 4th and short is a lot of times it's a higher percentage that you're going to get that 1st down. Why not?
But that works.
Yep.
That works when you're at a deeper field level.
Yeah. But I mean,
in the red zone, that percentage drops significantly because there's less room for your players to get open, especially on passing plays. If you look at it very closely, that whole trend about going for it on fourth down, when you go for it in the red zone, it drops significantly on the percentage of success.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there. But I'm saying at like a midfield 4th and 1.
Oh yeah, 100%. Run that ball up the gut, sneak the quarterback, whatever you got to do. Play that dummy play where it looks like you hike the ball and the center picks it up and falls across the first down line. We seen that this weekend. Where was that type of play by our team?
Well, let me ask you this question. Okay. Now, was going for it on 4th down bad, or was just the play calling bad?
It was a little of both.
If I may, and this is a point that I just said earlier, I don't think going for it is bad. I think that not running the ball, especially when it's 4th and 1, that's where the mistake is. Not
or a bubble screen or something.
Obviously, Goff can't see anybody but the guy he locks in on when he snaps that ball. That's his problem. He does it every game. He just stares one receiver down, and that's it.
But here's the thing. Williams is also open in the flat. If you look on that meme, Williams is open in the flat with those guys being covered out because he's staring down towards Cephas and Amon, or not Cephas, Raymond and Amon Ra on that. Right. He's focusing on Raymond and Amon Ra on the left side. On that left side in the flat, Williams just knocked a linebacker on his ass and was wide open. That'd have been an easy 5 yards right there. Or Cephas, who's 7 yards down the field, nobody within 3 yards.
That would have been a touchdown all day, I call it.
Yep.
If you would have looked,
if not a touchdown, at least a first down. If not a touchdown, at least a first down, because the safeties were deep enough to stop them. That's all I got to say on that.
Cephas was a lot better.
Statman, yes.
What's that?
To answer your question, yes, I think that the play calling did they pass it every time?
Every time. What? 3 out of 4 times ended up in a fumble. And then we had the play where he tried to throw to Amon Ra.
Now I know what you were going to say, Statman. You were about to say that Quintez Cephas was making some good plays and playing some good ball.
Mm-hmm.
He actually had his career high in reception yards and receptions this last game.
And listen, if you would have caught that, he's a lot better in open field than people give him credit for. Mm-hmm. They only credit him for being
absolutely right, Uncle Bud.
But I believe that he is just as good as anybody in the open field and making people miss. And I think easily being that wide open, he's going to make somebody miss, dive into the end zone. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, and here's what we see.
It drives me nuts that Goff cannot get out of his own damn head, and you can see it every game. Mm-hmm. He looks like he is just lost sometimes.
He actually looks. He looks exactly like I said after game 1. He still does not look comfortable with this offense.
No. I say put Blau in the rest of the year. He knows the offense better. I say give Blau a chance. I guarantee he's going to read that field a lot better, and Blau is a lot better than people think too. I honestly think you have a better.
Blau played well when Stafford was out.
Yeah.
In 2019, when he came in after Driscoll got hurt, he's a little bit. He's got an arm. He's a little bit more athletic than what Goff is as well. He isn't afraid to get out of the pocket and try to make something happen with his feet when the pocket collapses.
I mean, so here's guys. Here's what we're seeing. We're seeing some of the receivers starting to emerge. We didn't see this in the beginning of the year. We're starting to see Quintez Cephas come alive. We're starting to see Khalif Raymond make some big plays and make his name for himself. Even St. Brown got a few more catches this last game. But I think when it comes to Cephas and Raymond, those are our 2 top receivers right there.
And I think they're going to be our top receivers even if Williams comes back.
They're starting to emerge as the 1 and 2. So you have Jared Goff who drops back. He looks over to St. Brown, instead of looking anywhere near the 1 and 2. So I would be hitting my number 1 first, not immediately looking for the check down or whatever right away. And then where was
Raymond
Swift?
was at?
Where was Swift in the passing game? I don't feel like he made much at all in the passing game at all.
Yeah, I heard we were going to use him more, and I saw him less.
Uncle Bud says,
yes, Uncle Bud.
Because what they got ain't working, period.
Yep. That's why I say, why not give it a chance with David Blau? If he's going to give you a better opportunity to win, I don't care what Goff's. We're going to have to pay Goff's salary regardless. Would you rather pay Goff's salary and be winning games? Or would you rather be playing Goff and just tanking the season? Because that's what Goff's going to give you at this point. That's what I feel. He can't get out of his head. It's all mental.
Right now, with the way the play calling's going and the direction the team's going, we're on a fast track for a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and the first 0-17 team.
Yeah, unfortunately, the first 0-16 team had Campbell on it.
There's a lot of I knew
this. The schedule doesn't get any easier the rest of the year.
No.
Compared to what we faced in the first 3 weeks, yeah, it's actually easier from here on out in the long run. If you look at what we're facing, basing it off of last year, which is what they base strength of schedule off of, it's actually easier. But at the same time, I don't see it. What up, though? Kurt Steele, welcome to the house.
Hey, what's up, Kurt?
What up, Kurt?
But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to jump ship on this coaching staff. I'm just ready to jump ship on Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to something I talked about just a little bit ago. The social media crap that you see after every damn Lions game. People saying get rid of Dan Campbell already and all this other crap. Absolutely not.
Nope.
Dan Campbell put together what he could put together at the beginning of this year. There's still leftovers from the Patricia era. You got to remember that. We're trying to. He's trying to fix that shithole, if I may say, because
you can say it.
It's going to take some time. I want the Lions to win now. I think everybody does. But the bottom line is, do I still think in my heart that they're going to get those 11 wins? Absolutely. Absolutely. I won't say any different this whole year. Even when they got 10 losses.
Do you know what this represents? Do you know what this represents? This is your hopium pipe, and you just took a big puff.
Well, this is what I'm saying, okay? This is what I'm saying. Every single game, they've had a chance to win. There is some possibility in that game they were going to win the game if they didn't hit the miscues. Goff doesn't get stuck inside of his own head, because that's where I really think that's where he's at mentally.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think he's actually – I just don't think he's comfortable yet.
No,
he does not look – He does not look comfortable at all in the pocket. He's had even this week, if you throw in the fact that he was under pressure a lot, he still has had the most time in the pocket overall of any quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
He's making
one of the best offensive lines.
Well, last week they didn't look like it.
You can't win football games, bottom line. You can't win when you show up in the fourth quarter, because there's not only one quarter. There's 3 other ones that you got to play football in, especially the first half. And they have not done that. And that's what's killing this team straight up. That's what's killing this team is the 4-quarter football. They're not doing it. The whole year.
William Sebastian says the Lions suck. Just kidding. Hi, everyone.
What's up, Uncle Bill?
Uncle Bud comes back in.
And you're right.
Campbell's fault.
It's not all Campbell's fault. No. I blame most of this roster and how crappy it is on Quintricia. We were left with nothing for signing flashy free agents. And I'm going to say something that I said right at the beginning of the re-signing period. I was happy when they didn't sign Galladay. Romeo Aquara did have an injury history. I really didn't want him to get a big deal. I wouldn't mind him being re-signed, but I didn't want it to be a big deal. He got that big deal is half the reason why we couldn't afford flashy players other than him. I'm not saying I didn't want him here because he earned a spot on the roster with how he played. Oh, but he has an injury history, and like I said, it started as. Uh-oh. I wonder if that's my dad. Is that you, Dad?
Can't hear us.
Huh.
What crazy what was his nickname? What
Crazy Ken. Crazy Ken.
Thank you.
Crazy Ken.
Is that Crazy Ken coming in the house?
The only one
I think so.
Fan show set up on Saturday.
Well, I've got 2, possibly 3 lined up already for tomorrow.
All right.
Let's
get back to what we're talking about here, post game.
This is an interesting topic because I knew this show was going to be like this. I knew that we were going to have a lot to say about this because it's been 4 weeks. It's been 4 weeks. We've seen a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
And a lot of bad.
We have not seen this.
Yeah, we haven't seen it all come together. And I know it's going to. One of these games, it's all going to click, and they're going to come together. Is it going to be this week versus the Vikings? God, I hope so. As much as it would hurt my fantasy team, I hope Delvin Cook, questionable, is out because we can't stop the run.
Well,
I'm just saying.
We can, not right now.
Well, wait. Logan, last week we seen a defense that could stop the run and a mobile quarterback. You talked about it. That defense didn't show up this past game against Chicago. Why not? Why did they not show up? What do you think caused the difference between 1 week and the other? It's the same damn people.
Lack of effort.
Look at who was on the field and the effort that was there when they were on it. When JRM and Barnes was on the field, electric things happened and they made stops. When they weren't on the field, we looked slow, lethargic, and just out of sorts. Derek Barnes should be the starting middle linebacker, not Annalise.
Mm-hmm. Agree. I have agreed with that. And Maben needs to be playing almost as many snaps as he can because not only
because they're feeding off each other.
Yeah, and he's making plays big time, and he's doing it on special teams too. Like I don't know if you caught this stat, man, but I made a point earlier when we were talking about him. Who's the one that usually makes the tackles on special teams?
Reeves Maben.
Exactly.
It's very rare that you have a linebacker that small, that fast, that makes plays not only in regular formations but also in special teams.
But where was the defensive line that we've seen against Baltimore? What the hell happened to that defensive line?
I don't know. Where'd that O-line that we saw against Cleveland go with the Bears?
Yeah.
All of a sudden they could play. And they had more people out. It made no sense.
Just clicking. Get in that groove and just start clicking.
And that's the problem. The Lions are not in that groove. They have not figured out the groove at all.
Aleem McNeil looked good in the middle, but Levi, Nick Williams, and Brockers, they all look like crap.
Yeah.
And I know it's because Levi didn't get to play a lot this preseason. He is a rookie. I understand he's going to make mistakes, but I'm not giving him a pass for bad play.
I think, Statman, you had picked Austin Bryant as your in-the-zone player. I didn't really see any of our defensive linemen really making hardly any.
Wasn't it Bryant that caused the fumble? Wasn't it Bryant that caused the fumble?
I'm
on Justin Fields?
Overall, as a game, we didn't see the amount of pressure that we thought we were going to see based on the Baltimore game.
I know
Oh, the
Harris.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I know Harris got that strip sack at the end, but Fields recovered it.
Yeah, the one that put him at 34, so they couldn't score.
Yeah, that was Charles Harris, I believe.
Oh, it was Harris? I thought it was Bryant for some reason, but that was the
Yeah.
week before when Bryant caused a fumble. Never mind. I got confused. I'm confusing my games.
Happens to me all the time.
I'm looking for something positive to say about someone. I'm trying, other than the few that I mentioned in my
It's
hot
hard.
players.
Well, we are at. What? Go ahead, Smoking Jeremy. Go ahead.
The worst coverage I seen was out of Bobby Price, though. He looked lost out there. He's a safety naturally. I say move him to safety and bench Will Harris.
Yeah, that might be a good move.
What I know about that is that we struggled to cover Mooney all game long. So obviously there need to be some help there, big time. Now you can't let one guy tear us up like that in the past game, and then Montgomery could just do whatever he wanted to do. So that's a lose-lose. If you're not scoring points in the first half, you're not winning.
You got to make stops, and you got to make stops.
And that was the reason why I picked stopping Montgomery as a key to the game, because I knew that Montgomery was the only one who was going to help out Justin Fields. He was struggling before he went into that game, and he actually looked decent. I can't say he looked great, but having that running game helped him with play action, and it also brought the linebackers up, which made it easier to go over top. I mean, it's just easy football. That's basically what they played, was simple football, Tecmo Bowl football, and they beat us.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
Run off tackle right, run off tackle left, run up the gut.
That's all they did. And they just kept doing
slant routes, Hail Mary. That's it.
Yep. Exactly.
And in the beginning of the game, when we weren't getting any pressure whatsoever, Justin Fields did look good. Not great.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look like an MVP like somebody said. I was like, you can't be an MVP if you're not getting touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that pass was right on the money to Mooney.
Mooney, yep.
Yeah. It was just like, it looked like a Tom Brady throw.
We gave him 6 seconds to throw the ball. We gave him 6 seconds on that play to throw the ball. You're going to see something deep.
How do we not pressure a young quarterback? We talked about that too.
That was the key. That was the key. Hit him and hit him hard. Hit him often. He had PTSD. We needed to exploit that.
Well, that's where I was talking about. The defensive line from the Baltimore game would have done that, but they didn't show up. So there's the problem. Now
it looked like they changed the play calling due to the level of play they saw from the team before, and that's a mistake. Changing your game plan for anybody based off of what you saw the week before always leads to issues.
Well, listen, we are getting close to the end of our time tonight for the post-game recap show. We got the Lions taking on Minnesota next week.
God help us.
Matchup. Before we go, I do want to thank everybody that's in here right now watching and for your support.
Okwara's out for the season, Dan Lemmer.
Season ending.
Yeah.
Ruptured Achilles.
About the only player on the roster I'd trade for Galladay at this point. Just trying to get him going.
You can get Statman jumping that screen up there and take you down.
God, it was funny, and you know it.
Business, okay? Enough with the Galladay business. I don't want that guy. And honestly,
I don't want him either.
Romeo being hurt might end up being big for his younger brother, Julian.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going to go with that when we were trying to get to it, and we went another direction. I'm excited to see Julian step into his shoes. Because Charles Harris has already proved he should be the starter over Trey Flowers.
And
Oh,
Austin
he had
Bryant,
one good game out of how many?
what did he say?
Galladay had a good game. Yeah, good for him. He earned one of his game checks finally for you.
Wait until his contract year. He'll pretend like he's hurt so he can get find a new team in the offseason.
Yeah, hey, I agree 100% with what you guys are saying with Julian. I think that's an awesome thing because he played well.
He did.
Looking forward,
The
looking forward to seeing him and more of a starting, being out there a lot more with Romeo out. But
Or
I
at
never
least-
want to see anybody get hurt like that. Don't get me wrong.
No.
Even Montgomery, I didn't really want to see somebody get hurt like that. To be, it helps. But
as I said, Jalen Reeves-Maben is officially a kneecap biter.
Dan
He is a
Flowers'
beast.
contract makes that kind of hard to do.
The Flowers contract will be gone next year, hands down. He's not available. That's the best ability on a rebuilding roster. He's not available. If he's not available, he's not a commodity you keep past this season because that's when he doesn't have all that bonus money and you can get rid of him and save $15 million.
All right, so we are going to go ahead. I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. is our fan show, our fan zone show. We're going to invite some fans in, and we're just going to have an open talk. No script, no segments. It's just going to be open format. Whatever you want to say, we're just going to talk it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We already got a few people lined up. If you want to be a part of that show, we could probably take a couple more. So if you want to be a part of that show, let us know, and we will definitely get you on. 5, yes. And before we go, this show couldn't have been done tonight without this part. So thankfully, Statman happened to be able to join us at the last few minutes because the show ending without this is just not. It's not right.
It wouldn't be the same.
We would have had to sit here live all night long until you got in here just to do that part. So without
Such a
further
tragedy.
ado, please,
Well, I'm
Statman.
avoiding a tragedy here, so forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield, and win the blue and silver wave. Stand and cheer the brave. Rah, 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 rah. Hard, win the game. With honor, you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go
Lions!
Let's go, baby. One pride. Win or lose till I die.
One pride. Thanks everybody for coming. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on YouTube. That's what we're here for. We're here for you. We want to be a fan-oriented show, so that's why the fan show starts tomorrow. Let's see it.
Yeah, just come join us. Dan Leonard, you want to join us? You don't have to be a Lions fan. You can join us, talk football if you want.
We got Uncle Bud coming in saying, laugh my ass off. He absolutely thinks that Statman is the funniest thing walking the earth when it comes to singing that song. But we love it. Hey, for the Statman, for smoking this way. Wait, which way are you? Wait, that way.
Yeah, that way.
And I am the Soul Man, and this has been We Are Lions Nation podcast. Thank you all for watching. We will see you tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Hope you guys pop in. Have a good night. One pride.
Good
One
night,
pride.
everybody.